Okay, glad we got such a big crowd today. My assistant, Sam Harville, is going to demo the pattern for us on a young horse that has not been shown in the ranch trail a lot, so bear with us if we have a mistake. Hopefully everything will go smooth. So what we're going to look for in the ranch trail is a horse that can negotiate the obstacles that is attentive and efficient in the manner that he goes over the obstacles, works the gait. We're not looking for a robotic made horse. We want a horse that's staying true to our ranching heritage. So we're going to start out with the gait. When you walk up to the gate, you want to be walking forward with some purpose and authority, as you would, say, if you were going to a cow pen or you're going to the gate to go out across a 30-acre pasture. When you get to the gate, you want to have your horse stand quietly and wait while you get the latch undone. It's wrenching with all our rope horses in here today. Through the gate. Don't want to open the gate any wider than you have to. If you have a pen of cows, you don't want them out. And I like the horse standing there quietly until the rider proceeds on to the next obstacle, which is your serpentine around the stumps. You want to have a nice forward trot here. And what we'd be looking for is how well your horse guides through here, how your neck rein is, where his head and neck are, his ears. And I think you can do this obstacle as tight or loop it as wide as you feel is the best way to get your horse shown. That's all we're looking for in this class as judges. How well that horse guides and negotiates around the stumps. You could even trot that a little more forward. Now we're on our left lead lope over. And it may or may not be set as tight or wide as it is out here in the Noric arena, because that's a different arena. And as Sam did, I would utilize your space for the lead change. And again, for this tight, for that tight turn there, your right lead, if it's set like this, is going to come up kind of quick. Now you've got your extended trot. You want to keep your hand forward and push out that trot. Show your horse's extended trot, because we have lots of room here. And we're going to be looking for the same consistent stride over the log. So that was for me, I would like for him to have the same 1-2, 1-2 cadence all the way through that log. But again, this is a younger green horse. When you get up to the drag, first off, we want to see the horse stop well without having to be pulled hard. He should stand quietly and wait as the rider picks up the rope and gets her coils adjusted and goes to her horn. And you can walk or trot. The drag can be up tight like it is, or it can be back a ways. If you pick up the trot, you need to maintain the trot all the way to when you put the drag back. Another point that Karen wanted me to make sure everyone understood this, is you just need to tow the feed bump back to the post where you can put your coils back up and put the rope back up. It does not have to go to the exact position it was in for the very first horse, because she said we're not going to have somebody there readjusting it after every go. So wherever it is, you just tow it back to where you can get it put back and get your rope hung up. And now we're going to have our extended walk up to and over the walkovers. If you can maintain that extended walk and get over the walkovers clean, that's wonderful, high degree of difficulty. If you feel you're showing your extended walk all the way up and you think, oh, I'm a little off, and you need to have a slight hesitation and stride, it may lower your degree of difficulty, but getting over the logs clean is going to keep you out of a penalty situation. Another point I wanted to make is don't give it up. If you go over the first slope over and you have a hit and it's a penalty one, you think, oh, I've got a penalty one. Continue showing. You could plus one the next obstacle and put yourself back at whatever score you were at, and then build from there. So anywhere on the course, on those walkovers, if you hit one, don't think, oh, it's over. It's not over. You've got the side pass, and now we have this backup to do. So the side pass, when you come off the bridge, in a perfect world, the side passes with a relatively loose rein, your hand stays in one position, and your horse side passes through the straw bales evenly, not leading with shoulders or hips, straight across. And once you initiate your movement into the side pass, it should be continuous movement, not stop-start. And now in our backup, this may be tighter tomorrow, or it may be as wide as it is. You can back all the way till you're clear of the logs, and then you're going to trot out. And you want to try and make sure that you trot right out, no walk steps if you can manage. I think that if you back past the logs enough that you can just drift a little bit to your left and trot out, that's probably the most efficient way to do that. Karen mentioned also that if you backed out and you wanted to make a turn, a little three-quarter turn or half turn and trot out, you could do that too. That's not going to be specified. Have we got any questions? It's pretty straightforward here. Oh. No, I don't believe so. It has to be done as the pattern is drawn. It's all right. Yeah.
So when she loped off and loped over the log, she then went on to go around the back of that little tree, and it's not drawn in like that. And I wanted to know if that would be okay too.
And my answer to that question is no, that wasn't okay. And I didn't. She was on this side, and that's, Sam and I talked about that before she showed, or before she did this, and I was going to make mention of utilizing the space you have to get your horse to the lead change the best you can. So that's a younger breeder horse, but you do need to be on this side of that tree. Any other questions?
Questions, anybody? If you've got a question, I'll hand you this mic so that everybody can hear.
Oh.
So my question is, in the beginning you talked about how you didn't want a robotic looking animal and you just wanted more of a free flowing. So I've sat through quite a few of these. Sometimes it feels like that's what we're hearing here. And then sometimes when we go to the show, like tomorrow or whatnot, what's being rewarded is a little more hyper responsive and a little more robotic. So can you expand on what you mean by that, so we can, because there's some, I'm probably speaking for some that fall in the middle trying to, should I be more ranchy? Should I be more hyper responsive and robotic? I know that that's the term you use, but what I hear here and what I see sometimes being rewarded don't mesh. Can you give us your opinion on what that should look like? I'm just trying to learn, by the way.
Well, I think for me, and all of us that judge, everyone is entitled to their opinion of what they like and what they deem as being their ideal ranch horse. For me, I like free-flowing, forward, not running through the pattern. It's certainly not a timed event. And I think each horse is individual, and you have to show that horse to the best of its ability. But for me, I don't care for a horse that's really over bridle or rushed quick looking through the pattern. I look for something that just flows like you would want to ride all day. That's a good way to look at it, is think, would I want to ride that all day? Not just today in this horse show, would I want to ride that all day? And like I said, every horse is an individual, and as horse trainers, some horses come to you that maybe don't fit your ideal, but it's still your job to show them to the best of your ability. So I don't know if that helps answer your question or not, but I think really you just have to think about, you want to have your horse be efficient and attentive, ears up, look like it's happy doing its job, and like you would want to ride it all day. Sure. Any other questions? I do not believe so. Patrick said they're going to leave this setup as it is right now until 5 a.m. Then they'll tear it down and set it up in Norrick, and you're going to show. Sure. There's all kinds of questions.
For the feet bunker during practice earlier today, I saw some people, they would trot around, take it back, and then they would turn their horses around and back it up to kind of get it back to where it was, and then put the rope back. Is that a higher degree of difficulty or putting you off pattern?
So are you saying that they get the feed bunk pulled up, tow it a little further, then turn around and tow it back? That is a question that we have discussion about all the time. I don't think that it's off pattern myself. It's just the way you chose to negotiate that obstacle. I think it's more, for me, it's more efficient and getting it done quicker if you can just trot up, stop, hang your coils, and go off. And that could be, and again, Karen expressed to me today that she wanted everyone to realize you do not have to put it back in the exact same spot. You're not going to leave it halfway around the circle, but just get it back up in the same proximity, because every horse is not the same size, and if you've done this much, you know if you're showing a smaller horse or a bigger horse, it makes a difference in how you end up.
And then just to further, Gary's spot on here, but just a little bit further, you gotta remember it's situational. This is about the task. So if you can drop it off, put your coils up, and it's where it needs to be, great. But if you need to back up, you need to finish it up, you need to adjust or shift, then that is also fine, and that is great. It's about the task, not about everybody executing in exactly the same manner. You're showing the judges you can do a ranch task. So do that as efficiently, but also as correctly as possible. And if you've got to back up to get in position and back that thing up a little bit, then do it. If you and your horse are capable.
Ben, do you have a question?
When you are driving your feed cart, and you go to pick up your rope, you said you like a horse that waits on you. Is it okay that you, like as you're dialing up, your horse is like, you're taking off already, or would you consider that not waiting? Like, is that efficient, or you think that's rude of the horse?
I think the difference is, did you ask your horse to go, or did your horse leave? That is the difference. Now, if you're dialing and walking off and towing it, that's one thing. If you're grabbing the coils and the horse, you're grabbing your coils and the horse is leaving, or you're trying to get to your order and the horse is leaving, that's the difference. Right, it has to be your decision.
Ben, did you have a question?
So Gary, I was just gonna ask you on the extended walkover, there was 2 steps in between each log, and is that okay, or?
Again, I'm gonna reference back to Karen, but she told me before we did this, that there will be no straggle there. It's how your horse negotiates those logs. If you were, as you know, Ben, if you were on a ranch and you had to walk over something like that, you're not thinking, I gotta get 2 in here and 1 in there. No, the key is getting over those clean. That is the key.